guys. Today I want to talk about whether or not in writing, whether it be a book, whether it be something you're watching on television, does it ring true? So, what does that mean? Well, when I talk about does something ring true, does it make sense? Now, people have different opinions on that depending on the topic. However, you have to consider various aspects when you're writing about the character. What's their age? What's their background? Are they religious? If so, what religion were they brought up in? How has that affected them? How has their experiences affected them? How are they, personality wise? You have to look at all these things. And quite often I'll read things, or I will perhaps be watching something on television. I'm like, that doesn't really make sense for that character to me. Again, not an expert, but when you write, you tend to understand to a certain degree a certain amount of psychology as far as how people think, how they react to situations, and so on. And whenever I write about a character, I try to consider all that. Where are they right now? What's going on with them? What's happened to them in the past? How's their connection with this particular person? Like if you're watching a show, I wish I could think of an example. Of course, I can't now. You're watching a show and somebody who's lost another character's trust in a big way, and then the next episode they're like going out for coffee and having a big heartfelt conversation. Bad example, it's just off the top of my head, but if that were to happen, it'd be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense because that person just did something to lose the other person's trust. Why would they want to share something with them? And if there's a reason, there should be, it's usually very complicated in that case, and in which case you have to kind of show where that comes from. You have to be a very close relationship, I guess, in that specific situation. But anyways, the point is, does it make sense? And we watch stuff sometimes and you're like, yeah, that doesn't make sense for that character to do that. Oh, here's a perfect example. So there's a show I watch, I won't say what it is, and there's characters in the show who have children. And this new character who they don't know, just met, came into the show and they decided this person will look after their children. Why does that not make sense? Well, I don't have kids, but I'm pretty sure if you ask anyone who does, they're not going to have a total stranger look after their kids. They're small children. They're going to be like, no, I don't know that person. And even if I did, I'd have to check out a lot of things before I leave and trust them to look after my children. Now, I watched that and I thought, that doesn't make sense. Normal parents, I don't think would do that. I hope not. I really do hope not. But the point is that, if you watch something like that and it just doesn't quite ring true, it makes it less believable. And how is that a big deal? Well, if you're reading something or watching something and it doesn't seem to make sense, you kind of move away from a bit. You're not getting engrossed more into the story. You're kind of pulling back a bit because you're like, something's not clicking. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. And again, you have to consider all the aspects of a character. I write about criminals. They deal with things and people differently than, shall I say, normal people do. Normal kind of sounds harsh. You know what I mean? They deal, their experiences and what they've seen, they're kind of desensitized to violence. They are desensitized to violence. And so in a way that if they were to do something horrific to another person, it doesn't affect them. But if somebody who's never dealt with that is standing right next to them, that might give them PTSD because, that's normal. But you can't have them kind of going along unless there's something a little bit off already that you're like, okay, I can see that character becoming kind of flowing their way. But why is it that character? Does that character feel like they for example, my characters, it's like a gang. So do they feel kind of like they don't fit into society, and so they kind of are moving towards that anyway because they connect with this group of people and they feel the need to join and to be part of something, to be part of a family, for lack of better words. So they kind of connect with that character. Anyways, rambling again. The point is, if something doesn't make sense, don't do it.